nothing in school, nothing till I got to the military, and then those classes were interesting, and really enjoyed working in the OR and in Central Supply and all that.
So
That's how far I went.
yeah. And how long were you how long were you in the military?
3 years, 3 months.
And then was it like consistent education, or were you educated the first however many months and then got put in?
Well, we went in for 3 years, and then it was the Korean conflict. Eisenhower extended a year. Then he cut it back 6 months, and then he cut it back 3 months. By then I'd gotten married to Nolan, and he was getting out February 12th, and I was getting out February 9th. So we drove straight through to Van Buren. Book. That's a good question. I don't know, I read mostly detective books. That's what I read. Well, everybody can make mistakes. No one's perfect. And you have to learn from your mistakes, I'd have to say. Well, I think a person should have an education, but I don't think everybody should go to college. I don't think that's necessary. How about community colleges? The crafts, like plumbing, electricity, construction. I mean, I don't think everybody's college material. A lot of these guys go to Ivy League colleges because they're on a football scholarship. They're not there to really learn anything. I mean, and you think of the money that they get, it seems a waste. I don't think I had any.
You'd have like a dream job or dream family?
I never talked about it. I mean, going into an orphanage, you just don't. You wanted to get out of there.
Yeah.
And then you got out, but you had to work. So, but the job wasn't bad. I mean, you know, they'd go away, leave me, I'd take care of the house and the dog and answer the phone and the door and so on and so forth. But outside of that. But a few years ago, again, I'm going to tell you that I wondered what happened to the orphanage. And out of curiosity, I got online and went back, found what happened to it, and managed to make contact with a couple of people who knew about it. One saying that she was glad, she said she didn't have any good experiences there. I don't think it was that bad. I mean, nuns are strict.
Yeah.
I don't know how they are were at Macaulay, but I mean, we get out of bed in the morning. We'd have to fall on our knees. You didn't stand up, you fell on your knees and you said your prayers. Then you got dressed and whatever else you had to do. Then you went to church every morning. After church, you went to breakfast. You said prayers before breakfast and after breakfast. You went to school, you said prayers before school and after school. Every meal. And at night before you went to bed, you went to church, you said the rosary. So that was a daily routine. And you knew what you were going to eat every day. Because Saturdays and Sundays, Sundays was fried bologna and hot dogs. Fridays was codfish. And if you didn't like it, you tried to shove it off on somebody else's plate. But we had some good times in the orphanage. Oh, I got in trouble a lot of times, but that's all right. But I had some good times.
Did you develop any like dreams or goals in high school? Like you went to St. Mary's, but you know.
No, I came out of there and I said, what am I going to do? I might as well join the service. So I went down to the Navy. The Navy wouldn't take me. So I went in the Army.
Why wouldn't the Navy take you?
My eyes.
Yeah.
The orphanage did, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
But what about in your work life? So did you...
In military, yeah. Well, I guess I'd have to say the military in some senses because I was in Okinawa and my captain came along and she asked me to do something. I told her no. She said, "You're refusing a direct order?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "Do you know what can happen to you if you refuse a direct order?" I said, "Yes, and you can go to hell." For which I got company punishment. So it taught me, well, you either keep your mouth shut and do as you're told, or you stand up for yourself. And it was something that I shouldn't have been doing anyway. An male orderly should have been doing it, not me. But, you know, you learn.
What, did you have any jobs after the military?
No. I was married and raised a kid. Since Nolan's been gone, of course, and Donna and I got married, I did work. Worked at Westbrook College 26 years in the food service business. But while I was there, I took some courses there too in senior moment, finance.
Oh, okay.
So now as a in the military organizations that I belong to, I handle their financial papers. As a matter of fact, there's papers down there that I make, I handle about $20,000 a year. It's not my money, but I like bookkeeping. I like figures, and I'm pretty good at it. I balance my husband's checking account, I balance my checking account, I balance their books every month to the penny. I have 5 accounts, and they all balance. That's what I like to do. It's for free. I mean, it don't cost them anything. I do the work, it don't cost them a cent. But that's what I like to do, work with figures. See, if I had no one, if I was all by myself, I might volunteer at Agency on Aging to help people with their bank accounts. They have people who do this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I might do something like that.
You know how many classes you took at
Do I have any?
Westbrook? You said you took a couple classes.
Yeah, I did. I took 2 classes. Accounting 1 and accounting 2.
How was that?
Good. I enjoyed that. I had one fellow in my class. He couldn't do it, so he used to call me all the time and I'd have to help him out. But I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Would you say it's a lot different from when you went to like St. Mary's or something?
Pardon?
Would you say it's a lot different from when you went to school?
Oh yeah, a lot different. Yeah. That you do a good job in honesty. Not that important. I wasn't a good student.
No?
No. I couldn't do algebra for nothing.
Do you think being a better student would have helped you or hurt you at all? Or
Oh, probably would have helped me, yeah.
do you think you needed your education at all for what you ended up doing?
Oh yeah. Everybody needs an education.
So, when I was little, I used to be so afraid about Marcia because whenever you saw her, she had, good posture and She had a deep voice with, real strong opinions. And you could tell she was in the military. That's kind of her claim to fame in my family. Love her to death. But that is something that I now realize went, before the military also. It wasn't just the military that made her a very strict individual, but that she, was raised in an orphanage with nuns, and, they were very, true to the times in their practices. You hear her mention that, you don't stand up when you wake up in the morning, you fall to your knees and pray first, and they were on a very strict schedule. And you also hear a lot about how she was punished if she did something wrong or not up to the standard. And then you also see when she left the orphanage, it wasn't like she was adopted. She was adopted, but she was adopted to do work. And so, she didn't get to experience the life that I know I've been given the opportunity to experience. I didn't have that many responsibilities, but she had those responsibilities, and they, she made her a really strong person, that's for sure. And she eventually went into the military after all that. And I think it really shows a lot about her character. It explains so much. So thinking back on her life, I think it says a lot that she couldn't remember a favorite memory. It really didn't sound like she had a lot of fun. She had some good friends, so she had some fun, but she didn't have a favorite memory. She didn't have a favorite book. She didn't have any accomplishments, not a one that came to her mind until the military. And I was honestly a little bit surprised that when I asked her what her favorite book was, she didn't say the Bible, because I thought, looking at the questions, okay, I know the answer to a couple of these. And that was what I just thought she was going to come out with, because my family is very strongly religious. In fact, ever since the Pope has stepped down, they've just had on the TV, watching for that smoke. And that's what was playing in the background of the first couple of videos. That's what you hear, because they can't turn it off, because they gotta be there for when that Pope comes out. When she talked about most important job qualities, and she mentioned that you have to be honest and do a good work. I think that says a lot about who she is, and I think it's a very practical way of thinking. And I think that also comes from her military background. I'm assuming that's something that's practiced heavily in the military. She was faced with a dilemma where either she was given the choice to stand up for herself and for what she believed was right, and that's to not do the job that was ordered on her, or does she just go with it because that's what you're supposed to do and it was an order, and that's, how things run in the military. Because in the long term, does she really want the consequences? No. Does she want to be that person that stood out? No. Part of being in the military is being very uniform. And so, she chose the short term, and then later on she had to deal with the consequences. And, would things be different if she went with it instead? Is that a different value she would have learned from the military? I don't know. That's, something we'll never know. But definitely Kidder's long-term, short-term was involved in that. If you notice in the videos, she says twice that she thinks that everyone needs an education. Not necessarily college, for sure. No need for some. But everyone needs an education. And in thinking of what being schooled in a democracy is for her, I think education teaches people responsibility and how to do good work and how to say truth, And that's what I think it is from her point of view. It's a place to train children to become adults and to have the values that everyone needs regardless of their work environment.